Hey, what's going on, Facebook? Great to see you this morning. It's 9 a.m. It is time for a look ahead with Pastor. And I went to Grow Coffee this morning. And if you don't know about Grow Coffee, and this is not a paid advertisement in case you were wondering, I just love coffee. And but Grow Coffee is great. They're in Anaheim, kind of at the corner of Tustin and La Palma. Just across the way from Starbucks. So as many of you are supporting local business. And I guess my name, this says Vanilla. I thought for a second they put somebody else's name on this. That would have been kind of funny. But hey, thanks so much for jumping on. If you're on, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Obviously, we got the chat embedded here so we can see and see you say hello. And so we're going to get started here. Coming up right off the bat, obviously, today is February 7th. And so we are moving into our first in-person gathering, and or at least the consistent in-person gathering. And so if you did not know that, you need to know this. As we think about looking ahead, we are meeting in person every week now. And so I want to encourage you to be a part of that. If you don't know where we're meeting, let us know. Levi, what's up, man? Yeah, I'll send you some coffee, bro. And but delicious coffee. But we just started back into our weekly meeting. And so if you don't know where the meeting location is, please message me for details. And then some great news yesterday came down that, again, we don't necessarily wait on these things to come before we do things. Obviously, government is there to do a lot of different things, but they're not there to dictate what the church does for sure. And so, but some great news yesterday came down from the Supreme Court that ruled against Gavin Newsom and his shutdown, unconstitutional shutdown of churches. And so we're, again, having people meet again, and we've kind of already made that decision here to get back into person. And for those of you that have been just online for this entire time, now is the time, okay, when the highest court in the land, okay, if you're looking for a good indicator of, hey, it's time to get back to in-person gathering, now is the time to do that. And so message me for details. I'll get you our meeting location that we're meeting at. And then, of course, for those of you that are, owners, regular attenders, or you would call Inland Hills your church home, let me encourage you, as your pastor, looking ahead in the future, let's begin praying that God would begin to open an opportunity for us to transition into some different meeting spaces. And this is certainly something that obviously COVID was a huge hit for us as a church. We lost our meeting space, and so we're transitioning into a house worship kind of situation now. And so that meeting location will vary from time to time, but certainly we want to first and foremost, we want to make sure that we're being disciples that make disciples. Obviously, you don't need a building to grow a church, and that's understood. But certainly, as we think about the future, as we look ahead to what God will do as we grow in our current situation, we want to look ahead. And so obviously that all starts with prayer for God to open doors. And that's first and foremost. Our prayer comes before our effort. Our prayer comes before our giving. Our prayer comes before our serving. And so we want to make sure that we're praying for that. So be praying for that. If you would, just on a daily basis, really. I'm always praying and have began praying now that would be something that would begin to open up. And of course, if you ever have any lead or a place that you see or catches your eye or someone tells you about, please feed that to me. I always want to consider everything that we can with regards to that. And so February 7th is today. Don't forget, we're going to be live streaming a little bit later today. Our in-person service is going to be about an hour from now. And so that's coming up. And so if you need directions, just let me know. I can get you the meeting location. We'd love to see you there. Last weekend was just so awesome, having people in the room. And it's such a different experience preaching to people in the room. And I know for you, right? It's such a great experience being back in person rather than just online. But I'm grateful we can do this, and so I'm glad that you're here today as well. What else is coming up here? Well, I think there's like this football game today that's supposed to be on, and I'm just kidding. We're having some people over, and some people. Some friends of ours are coming over today, and so I'm excited about that. Some new people that we've been investing in with the church are a part of that as well, and so excited about that. So enjoy your football game today. Have fun. Be safe out there. Obviously, some people can get a little crazy out there as well. But very cool to hear about this Supreme Court ruling this week, acknowledging churches can meet in spite of the pandemic. So looking forward to seeing more of you back. And of course, don't forget, as the live stream video goes out, as you consider the in-person gatherings, don't forget the Eventbrite link is a pinned tweet or a pinned post on our Facebook page. And so whatever weekend you can register for. And so excited about seeing some of you in person here in the next couple of weeks. And as we said, we're encouraging people to sign up just for once a month. And that way it allows for other people to register for the events. And so if you haven't registered for a weekend, do that right now. Just go click on our Facebook page, find it, register for the weekend. You can also do this on our website as well. And then also, we sent out an email blast last week letting people know about the house worship, and had some people interested in some of the kids stuff. And so those of you that have parents, have kids, we'll be kind of doing a solo weekend, I guess is the best way to put it. We're just going to take a weekend and we're going to invest in kids once a month. And so parents that have kids, shoot for the second weekend of the month starting in March, and that weekend will just be for your kids. And it's not just going to be like a bunch of games for the kids and stuff like that. It's actually going to be a little bit of a lesson, but it's really going to be more of a equipping and a conversation with you as a parent and with your kids. So it's going to be fun for the kids. They'll have a good time. But what we really want to, I guess what the focus behind all this really wants to be on that second week of the month is really just kind of anchoring together with parents on discipling your kids. And I think a lot of parents don't really know how to do that. Honestly, a lot of parents don't really know how to disciple themselves, if we're being honest. And so this is a great opportunity, especially if you have kids, to learn how to disciple your kids. And this doesn't mean you become a different type of parent or a different approach, or what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that I'm not saying that you're going to become like me as a parent. You're still going to be, parenting in a lot of the ways, but I think you're going to learn some stuff about how to parent your kid, how to, instead of being so focused on behavior, we're going to focus on heart. We're going to give you an opportunity not just to do arts and crafts for a Sunday class, but we're going to really talk to you about conversations that you can have with your kid that they actually want to be a part of, conversations with your kids that are actually long-term in nature, conversations with your kids that they can literally put into practice at school the next day. And so, again, we'll kind of be doing that on the second Sunday of every single month. That'll be specifically for the kids. It'll be a weekend focused on the kids every single month. It'll be really a conversation, you and I and people in our church that have kids, about just parenting your kids, gospel parenting, Christ-centered parenting, really equipping. And here's the thing. I think, obviously, there's people that will be there that don't have kids. I think everybody's going to learn a ton during those weekends about just conversations with people about the gospel, conversations with people about biblical principles, conversations with people that you could certainly hear with their kids, but you're going to learn how to have that conversation with your coworker, with that family member, because obviously conversations around the gospel, conversations around church, conversations around changes of belief or becoming open to conversations about a change in belief in the context of relationships, they just tend to move a little bit slower. And you know that. I know that. It's not like you've ever just come to someone and that you knew and started having a conversation about Jesus or church, and it was like, oh yeah, let me just dive in right 100%. And not that doesn't happen, but the relational component that you're working through there has a lot of nuance to it. And so, again, second week in the month, I know that's specifically more for kids, but I really do believe that conversation we're going to have during those particular weekends are really going to set really our entire church up as a whole on how to talk to people, how to conversate. And especially for parents, you're going to have a tremendous opportunity to learn how to talk to your kids, how to shape them, how to navigate them a little bit. And your kids are going to be in on the conversation as well. And so they'll be able to maybe share some thoughts, maybe share some things, and just very conversational. I'm excited. So one of the cool things about these weekends that we're having in person right now, and really something I look forward to continuing on in the future, is just this ability to have learned something, have some preaching, have some teaching, but then also have an opportunity to have a conversation, to figure out how this meets into Monday. And had such an incredible time doing this last weekend where we were able to preach about Paul's ministry. We were able to talk about the content that Paul's preaching through Colossians, and then yet had the opportunity to really sit and have a conversation and ask some questions and really flesh out what we had learned, not just so we were all clear on what we learned, but that we could put that into practice that next day. And really later that afternoon. And so it's been encouraging to see and even hear some conversations based out of that conversation on Sunday where people were like, hey, this happened, or I had this conversation, or I applied this, or this is how it worked out. And just a blessing. But of course, on the other side of that, we had some, battles this week that came up, and that's just a good indicator that the devil, just the enemy fighting, devil fighting. Some good decisions that were made this week. And so let me encourage you, if you had a rough week, especially for a part of our church, and you were here last weekend, don't grow weary in well-doing. Keep at it. Keep going strong. A lot of the times when we begin to make growth and advancement, or we make a decision for the Lord, that's to follow. We don't like to say, you ought to expect it, but you ought to expect it a little bit. And so don't grow weary in well-doing. Keep at it as well. And but yeah, a blessing to hear people encouraged and responding now to the upcoming in-person gatherings, generating some interest. I look forward to getting some more feedback from that as well. And so that's what's coming up. We got this Sunday, 10 a.m. We're meeting in person. Obviously, the live stream will go a little bit later, so don't forget to share that video with friends. We've got the Eventbrite link for registering. Is a pinned post on our Facebook page. And so get your weekend registered, get your family registered, get some friends registered, bring them on that particular weekend. It'll just be you and your crew of people. And had a great time with people last weekend. We've got some response coming in to some of the emails that we had sent out. And then, of course, the Super Bowl is coming up this afternoon. I hope you've got some people that you're having over with the intention of investing in them for eternity. And I hope that the way in which you celebrate the Super Bowl with people today is Christ honoring and gospel centered. And then I would just say, if you're gathering with people and doing the Super Bowl thing this weekend, then you know what? Next weekend or the weekend after that, you can join us in person for church as well. And so let's not let fear drive us in 2021. Obviously, some good news coming around on the virus that's encouraging, that ought to shift us into more of an in-person meeting. So I've gone a little long here. I apologize about that. We'll look forward to seeing you at 10 in person, and then we'll see you a little bit later this afternoon as well on the live stream. So God bless. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.